Yeah. And one of the things that you were just saying, kind of triggered a thought. This like I've always been very sensitive, very sensitive person. Even as a child, I used to be very, very sensitive, picking up other people's emotions. Um, and I've had times where it's like somebody else might be feeling something and it's like it's happening to me.
Mm.
And it's just like so strong. Um, and then even in my adult life, it's like being around certain people, you can feel their energy, you can feel kind of, they have like if they have a lot of anger or they just have a lot of, just that negative, vibe that they're just kind of giving out, right?
Yeah.
And try to talk to them, try to like, get them to maybe calm down, you know, um, life's not so bad, there could be a bright side to things, right? And it doesn't work. How do you deal with that? Like, how do you, I guess my challenge has been kind of protecting myself from that. Because even like with my brother growing up, I would, if he used to have a lot of accidents, like he would, fracture a leg, fracture an arm, it's broken. And he's just, in so much pain. And I can hear him crying. And it's like it's happening to me, it's like that broken arm is not his arm, it's my arm, because I can
Yeah.
feel it
Yeah.
so strongly, like it's and it's almost like excruciating pain, but it's nothing's happening to me. It's
Yeah.
he's the one in pain, but why am I like crying and hearing him cry or stuff like that. So I guess one of the things for me has been like, how do you not get affected, how do you protect yourself and not you know get carried away in the other person's emotions.
Yeah. It's um it's difficult, like when this is kind of like on the journey of like experiencing this. It is that is like a very challenging thing, is what you're talking about. So let's answer the why. So why am I feeling that? Well, because the truth is that you're not separate. That's why you're feeling it.
Mm.
Right? Why does it feel like you're so connected that you can feel as if it feels like you broke your arm when he broke your arm? Right? So clearly there's separate bodies. Clearly there's a limit to this body, and this is where this body starts and ends, and there's that body starts and ends. But how is it that I'm feeling the same energy? How am I feeling that energy? Because on the deepest level, there is no there's no separation. That so you, the more in touch you are, the way is like the deeper you meet yourself, the deeper you can meet others. So you go all the way. If you go all the way right to the core, that it's one, then you're meeting everyone as yourself. That's actually true intimacy, that you're meeting them from that level. You're not meeting
Mhm.
them as a mind. You're not meeting them as a personality. Sure, that comes with it, but that's more superficial. But there's like you're seeing through that, and you're meeting them. This is where words can't describe it, because you're not meeting them. A meeting takes two at least, right? So you're that's why I don't even really like the word oneness, because it implies it's kind of like one, but it's not. It's no, you're one. Like they are you, right? So that's how that's possible. Like, why is it? So how to deal with that? And you say like, yeah, it's like almost like there's this kind of um feeling like you have to like protect yourself a little bit.
Yeah, like can like, okay, now that I know like awareness, right? I know, or this experiencing like we were talking about this morning, right? So if and I guess one of the things that I've been experimenting with and trying to figure out is like, okay, if I, start feeling that emotion, like or somebody else's emotion or my own emotion, right? I haven't felt like really that kind of turmoils, but trying to imagine, okay, something happens and I'm in this turmoil or somebody else is in turmoil. Can I, like, okay, now just, it's like you zoom out, right? You zoom out and you're in your awareness, and then this thing just becomes a thought. Um, that's kind of fading away. Is that is that the right way to do it? Can you leverage
Uh,
your awareness that way.
Can you what? Limit it that way? Is that what you said?
Leverage it, right? So
Leverage
now
it.
it's kind of your power, because now
Mm,
that you know that there's this
no, not
space
really.
of,
That's where like the ego kind of always tries to possess it. And always people say that type of stuff. Like, oh, this, thanks for showing me this. It feels like a superpower. And then now it does feel like that at the start. And when there's that strong identification, yeah. Um, for that like level of understanding, sure. I mean, it feels like a superpower. It will feel like you are um just basically more living from your heart. So at that level, you're more heart centered. So that's where like, things like generosity, like you're not stingy with your money when someone's, asking for money, like you're able to share those resources because you're feeling that oneness. You're feeling generosity is the outpouring of love. You're not stingy with your time, you're not stingy with your energy, you're not stingy with your resources. When someone needs it, then you're able to freely give like that. You're more open hearted. Whereas you walk around, the majority of what you experience as other people in the world, it's disconnected from their heart. They're like, it's me and it's mine, it's selfish, right? So you start feeling more selfless with these energies of feeling other people's feelings. Yeah, there's a feeling of like you're getting better at feeling feelings. And this is kind of like, in a way, it's like the practice. At this stage, it kind of feels like there's some sort of mastery happening. Like you're able to master your emotions by feeling them better and processing them. So it's almost like seeing these opportunities with your brother with a broken arm, or you pick up someone else's going through like a breakup or divorce and you're feeling that loss, or someone else is, they're in some depression and they're in the woe is me storytelling. You're able to feel that as your own, that you're not really drawing the line. You're not drawing the line. You're not saying, oh, that's their stuff, I don't want to feel that today. But it's more of you're feeling it. And that's really this opening, right? So it's like, it's kind of when it's like as if the heart is kind of opening, it's you're just letting in more of that stuff, but there's still a little resistance, there's still a little closure. Not today, I don't want to deal with that today. I'm not feeling, I need to kind of get away from it. And you do that to a certain extent, to the point, like I said, that you're ready for feeling more and more. And that's kind of the game, is feeling more and more and more and more. You become more sensitive to this stuff, to the point where it's like there's no such thing as like too much sensitivity. Too much sense, you're like, you're feeling as much as, that's how you feel super alive. You're feeling everything. You feel you're feeling like the pulse of life. You're feeling the aliveness at all times, right? So the more resistant you are to creating these thoughts of that's his broken arm, not mine, I don't want to deal with that, like I need to not come around to his house any longer until that thing is fixed. That's like resistance. That's resistance. But it's more of, you're starting to feel, when you feel really these emotions as yourself, that they're your emotions, then you're more empathetic. You can empathize with someone. So I've discussed this in a video. So most people they like these Hallmark cards that are like sympathy cards. And that's like, I can only imagine that, I'm sorry to hear about your loss, but I can, oh, I just noticed that Akansha wasn't even here. She popped off the call. Anyways, hopefully she can watch the playback. I saw you dropped off, so I was
oh yeah, sorry,
continuing.
my phone. Yeah, sorry
That's all
about
right.
that.
I'll continue. So there's like these kind of like three levels, is like the sympathy. We say things like these cards, like I can only imagine. They're like these Hallmark cards. I can only imagine what you're going through. But really that's saying like, I've never gone through losing a family member, so I can't really empathize with you here. I can imagine, meaning I can connect with you on the level of mind, of thoughts. I can think about what you're going through, but I can't go deeper than that. So it feels very superficial. Then more of empathy is more of, no, I feel what it's like to lose a family member. I can feel that loss. I'm actually feeling your loss as if it's my own. And that's where I can feel these emotions um, as you're feeling them. So that's more empathy. And compassion is even deeper than that. Compassion is feeling the suffering, is really feeling it at the core, that there's no separation, that you're feeling what appears to be the other's suffering as your own suffering. So then you're feeling it. So there's no resistance to it. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it because I'm not drawing the line where there's no line. You're not creating an invisible line because that line is created by thought. If there wasn't any thought, how would you know that it's his pain and not your pain? You wouldn't know. So when you're not experiencing those thoughts, you're like a walking field. You're just feeling everything. You're not picking the type of day. Oh, I'm in a good mood, so maybe I'll feel some extra stuff today. It's not like that. It's not like that. You go into a coffee shop, you're just picking it all up, right? But that level of openness, you are wide open. You are infinite. So there's nothing. That's why I sit here. Bring it on. Bring all your shit here. Right? It's all me. So bring it on. So in that way, you can help by being the field. That's why it always feels easier to feel your feelings on these calls. It's like you're assisted by grace. You're feeling it more and more. That's why you see when we kind of look at each other, you just go, okay, well, he's doing that thing again where he's not moving. Is my computer frozen? You see that there's tears coming out of my eyes sometimes. Right? It's the same. I'm feeling what you're feeling. Right? So that's that kind of, yes, there's more receptivity, there's more openness, but it always comes with the capacity to feel. It's never like it feels like something you can't handle. Because of that greater capacity, yes, you're able to feel more. Of course, but as something that's very like feeling very small and limited, no way, those feelings feel bigger than you. There's not a chance you're going to want to feel them. Because as it continues, you start experiencing what feels like the suffering of humanity. Like you're feeling, you see a commercial like around Christmas time, they show the kids,
oh my goodness,
Ethiopia. You're starving. That's you starving. You feel it. Here you are, you're sitting on the couch and you're having like a 3-course meal or whatever it is for your dinner tonight, but all of a sudden you're feeling all knotted up and you're just, and how it's just this commercial is triggering that because there's no separation. So you're feeling that you're driving.
Yeah, I mean, I can't read the news. I don't read the news at all. Like, I don't even want to hear about it, because it just affects me so deeply. Like, I can feel those people's pain, it can be really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it helps to, think about it like I'm an infinite space, right? So
Not
there's
just
that.
think about it. That's where you have to experience yourself as that. That's where as you're resting as being, there's nothing that you can handle. As being these emotions, as much as I'm, saying that they're really, scary or they're hard. Yeah, they are, but because you don't resist them, you feel them fast. The emotion climaxes faster. And you feel it, it's faster and it's like it's just it's in and out kind of thing. That it doesn't, you go to a family funeral, you're not, with feeling everything, you're feeling the grieving of the entire funeral home, not just your family, you're feeling like everything, right? So you're feeling it, but you're not feeling it for like the rest of the week. You're gonna step into that funeral home and
for that moment. It's in that moment you feel it and then it goes away. Pretty fast.
It's very what's the word that people use, like cathartic, I think is the word. It's just like it's a release. It's flowing out. Right. And that's because there's a complete surrendering to that emotion. It's a complete surrendering to the emotion. But it's one of those things. Like I said, it's something that there's gradually you kind of flirt with these emotions. You're like, I'll take a little, let me feel pain, or I like feel a little bit. But that's what, like, that's the pain of opening the heart. That's the pain of opening. That's what makes the experience of like being human more beautiful, where you're able to, you're able to donate some money to the needy or the homeless person on the corner, or you see something that, like, you know, you're really connecting with and you're supporting that, you're sharing the resources, you're spending your time. You're not so like me and mine, because you're
Mhm.
tapping into your being, and your being is infinite. So it feels like there's a well. I'm not stingy with the wisdom that I'm sharing. I'm not stingy with my time. Right. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing where someone else, they're always like their mind is creating like a scorecard. Okay, you did this for me, I'll do that now. I owe you, you owe me. Like this is craziness.
Mhm.
It's an ugly way to live. Right. So as you're experiencing more of this pain, it's painful, but it's also beautiful. It transforms the way you live. The life is
Yeah.
just more and more selfless.
Yeah, I think it reinforces that, that you are one with everything, right? There is no separation. And it's almost like, here's the proof, right? If you can feel like all of these other people's feelings and emotions, and then that just kind of validates everything.
Yeah, it's the proof is right there, right? Like
Yeah.
how do you explain that? Like you can't explain that unless everything is unified. In other words, like,
Yeah.
what is it that connects? What is it that connects this body to your body? You're talking to me in
Mhm.
California. I've spoken to people in India, and I'm crying and they're crying, and they're feeling like a release, right? And they're feeling, I just still and they go still. And yeah, how is that happening from like the other side of the world? Right. And it's like, you, it's those beliefs. They're not like actually rigid. But I wanted to mention too, to not scare the group and talking just about the painful stuff. It's not just the painful stuff. So it's actually the happy stuff too. That when you see like, I don't know, like I'll give you one, like a father pushing his kids on the swing, then it's like you feel the same joy. You're like
Yeah.
you're living that experience as if you are pushing your kids, or you see someone, that's it's just a feel good moment, or you see like, I don't know, someone hold the door for like an elderly person, and you see that you just feel like your heart swells up, right? So you start noticing, you're driving and you're noticing, you see like a young couple, they're holding hands. It's like their first like boyfriend or girl. You feel that love. You're feeling that same connectedness. So it's not just the bad stuff, which is like, then it's like you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. You're experiencing all of this. It's so fulfilling, because like everywhere you look, you're seeing yourself like living out like your life in a different body, essentially. It's like, cool. Like one of my friends, he's a successful realtor. And it's like good. Like there's like a sense of like pride, in terms of like, I'm proud of you for achieving that success, and you see the growth. So it's like you want them to be successful, where it's like he won't get any of that from anyone in his brokerage. Everyone else is trying to pull him down. They look and they go, I'm jealous. Look at all the stuff that you have. He's got a nice home and all this stuff, crazy amount of money. And it's just like, most people feel jealousy. They go, well, I got to catch up to him, or he's so lucky. But it's not. That's you winning. So you can't help but clap. You feel good. But at the same time, it also is like, well, I don't need to go and do the real estate and I don't need to build that type of business and get that type of fame or fortune. It's like, he's doing it for me. It kind of feels like that. Like it's almost like you've been there, done that. And you're able to feel that feel good, like at a distance.
Yeah, I had a very
Also,
similar experience. I had gone to a wedding, and it was the father-daughter dance.
yep.
And like, yeah, it just triggered like, like I could just feel like I just felt like, this is how my own dad, right?
Yeah.
Having that special connection with my own father, and just seeing the two of them, right? Just felt, yeah, I just feel, you feel that beautiful feeling that
Hmm.
they're feeling, right?
Yeah. Because that's what's not lost, right? That's the love that's never lost.
Yeah.
ever present, right? So it's just like this triggering up of that memory, and that's then you're feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. There's even like someone that just passed away, just like in our family, but kind of like a grandfather of a brother-in-law. And it was kind of like, what's the memory of that? And it's the humor. The humor, it's like that's sometimes that's when you don't really know someone too well, sometimes it's just like, yeah, it's like their laugh. It's like you remember their laugh because it's that humor that that is like it's like that quality of spirit. Like some of these qualities are really that's what leaves that impression is
Mm-hmm.
the humor or the beauty or the creativity. Like these are like these type of qualities that leave that impression. They're you can still feel it. It's like a different, it's not really a memory, it's something else that touches you deeper. You feel like that lightness in your heart because of their humor, because they it was like uplifting.
Right.
Like just even when you make someone like laughter, or like even like any of these comedians, like you're not thinking when you're laughing. Right there, it takes you back. You're experiencing yourself when you laugh, right? It breaks up that's what people kind of they like experiencing the comedians. It's like a, putting on something that's funny or whatever. You can forget about your worries, and like you just put all that, there's no seriousness. It's like the mind is the serious one, but the heart, it's playful. It's like let's have fun. It's like a kid watching a kid play, right? You watch like your kids and they're young and they're playing. It's like, well, what's the purpose of this? You got to do that. All of a sudden, there's like way too much pressure, and they're just like, what do you talk purpose? Like, it's play. The mind is all about purpose. The heart is all about play. There's you start noticing these shifts. The life is just, it's not so stressful. It's not so serious. It's more playful. It's light. It's loose. It's relaxed. Right. So